Hi, Chris Jarvis here, and you are in the Career Cocoon, and you're looking for some tips on how to get more out of this or how to get through it. Now, as you know, there are 3 steps. You have caterpillar, you want to get to butterfly, you've got to create your cocoon. So creating the cocoon is the most important thing you can do to help you get to the next level. Now, when you're doing this, to figure out what you need to do in your cocoon, or to create your cocoon, or to come out of your cocoon, is to think about the different areas. One of the first things we talked about when you did the self-assessment, day 1, or the preliminary day even, was we talked about the 5 different areas of your life. So we talked about career, and we're working on that right now. We talked about your income. We talked about your physical and emotional health. We talked about your relationships, and that's with your family, your clients, and people in your life. And then we also talked about fun. You gotta have some fun, right? So if you're thinking about where you are and where you wanna go, when you're trying to figure out what the cocoon looks like, let's identify the most important area for you to get the most important task or achievement in each of those 4 areas: income, health, relationships, and fun. So if you look over here at the different areas, maybe on income, you're making something, whatever that might be right now. Maybe you're making $50,000, maybe you're making $100,000, maybe you're making $500,000, it really doesn't matter. But if you're making this and you want to make more, you have to think about how are you going to do that. So you can't just say, I'll make more money. Not helpful. You need to think about what's going to help you make more money. What does that look like? And maybe the thing that's going to get you from working from caterpillar to butterfly is maybe you're going to work on larger cases. Okay, how are you going to work on larger cases? Don't just say larger cases, let's dig deeper. What does that mean? Well, maybe what it means is that to do that, you have to find a partner, someone who specializes in large cases. Maybe it's an attorney, maybe it's an accountant, maybe it's somebody at a private equity firm, it's a banker, or maybe it's another insurance agent. But figure out what that is. And if it's something that you need someone to help you get to that level, find that person. That's something you need to cocoon. You need to spend some time every day figuring out who could that person be. So you can talk to your manager, talk to your director, talk to your general agent, talk to whomever it might be who gives you good advice, and ask who that is. So maybe that's how we're going to handle the income. For physical and emotional health, maybe you've got a bunch of extra pounds and you'd like to have fewer. Well, okay, so how are you going to do that? You're going to work out and get a trainer. How are you going to do that? So don't just get it, set yourself a goal. Maybe what you're going to do is you're going to ask questions on Facebook, Twitter, social media, and find somebody who has a trainer. Maybe that's your goal. And so you want to break this thing down into bite-sized pieces and see what can you do every day that's moving toward these goals. So give you something there. Relationships. Well, maybe the most important relationship is with your spouse. Or maybe you've been working so hard at your career you haven't had time for your kids. And so you'd like to create big smiles over here with the people that you live with, the most important people in your life. And how are you going to do that? Maybe it's a quality time thing. So your kids and spouse want quality time. Well, how are you going to get that? Well, something you might want to do is maybe if your career is more successful and you're making more money, maybe you're winning a trip and you're doing something. Or maybe you're more successful so that you can pay for your own trip and you're not going on a work trip, you're going on your own personal trip. And so there's something to be said for, I need to save some money. Well, how are you going to save money? You need to spend less or you need to make more. So if you're going to make more, then put a goal together that I'm going to try and make an extra $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. And with that money, I'm going to be able to do something for my kids. I'm going to make one trip each year with each kid and do something. Maybe it's a weekend to go to a ball game. Maybe it's to go to New York and go to a play, whatever is important to your kid or your spouse or your parent or whatever relationship is important to you, sibling, find out what that is, figure out what the price is, set the budget, and then set a goal. So some of this is, whatever this is, there's going to be a budget, there's going to be a goal. And if you know that you're doing it not just for the extra money, but you're pushing a little harder to do an extra case or two, and that's going to help you reconnect with your sibling, your child, your parent, something along those lines, or your spouse, that may be the driver that really helps you. And then fun. Fun is a tricky one. Most people in sales work all the time. So what does it look like for fun? Maybe you don't have any fun and you'd love to have a ton of it and you'd like to be the fun guy. Well, how are you going to do that? Think back to what you want to do. And maybe it's a hobby, maybe it's an activity, maybe it's something that you just remember from childhood. You want to get together with some old friends. Again, if you put together what you think might be fun, find people who do those things and then just plan it. And if you plan it going out, that idea of linking your career success to things that you might buy, you might want the new house, trips with your family, things that are fun for you. If you start finding these really strong emotional ties to things that you'll get with your success or when you're successful, then you can start visualizing those. And a lot of people do vision boards where they put up pictures of these things so they can see them every day. That's a very powerful tool. So think about what it is to be successful. What are you going to do? What do you want to address right now as a caterpillar that you want to change in your life? What do you want it to look like? What do you want your life to look like when you emerge as the butterfly? And then write down the things that you have to do in order to get there. Plan the activity, plan the event, go to the World Series, go to the Super Bowl. Pick something that you're going to do, and then you're going to create the emotional energy around visualizing yourself doing these things and having the fantastic outcomes. So those are my tips for today. Make sure there's always 3 columns: where you are, where you want to go, and what are the things that have to happen to get you there. And if you start dreaming with the last board of where you want to be, and you focus every day and look at the things that you can do that will get you there, you'll have a much more successful career. So when you see this differently, you will sales differently, you'll have a better career, you'll have more fun, you'll enjoy life. I'm Chris Jarvis. We'll see you tomorrow.
Chris Jarvis.